Okay, we're continuing with the best of the West in art, movie, music, and books by me, Pete Rogers. This is part 58, meaning video number 58 from this book, but it's like part 11 of the chapter on paintings from the 1800s. And here's a pretty good painting to symbolize the destruction in the world of the West today. It's called Anguish by August Friedrich Schenk. Okay, and you know, things aren't looking good for the West at the current time. Okay, here's the next one. I wish they had made this one into color. This one's called Lost, again by the same painter, August Friedrich Schenk. Okay, and you can see here is the shepherd, and he's at the cross. And basically, the sheep, if they have a brain in their head, they will rally to the cross. That is their only hope. They've got a couple dogs, but the dogs, you know, the dogs can fight off the wolves for a little while, but not very long. The only thing that could protect them is to go to the cross. But they're very stupid and they're stubborn and they just want to conform to whatever's around them at the moment. So most likely they're all going to get bumped off. In Soviet Russia, in the 1900s, 65 million Christians were, and 48,000 churches burned down. And the goal, if you're studying what's happening in Europe, the goal is the same as it was in the Soviet in the 1900s. If you could just look up England, what's happened in England. You know, a declaration was made from above that the people that live in the country of England are too Caucasian, and they have to change that. So basically, what they're basically saying is they're going to do a Jenna, then you know what comes next, side of the people in Great Britain, England. You know, they're going to call it diversity, but that's what the goal is. So don't take my word for it. Go watch the videos. You'll see it. So, you know, what happens? People turn their back on God. They let themselves become atheists and secular. They lose their unity, and then they lose their rights. They lose their humanity, and then they get forced into slavery or they get removed. Okay? So that's just history. I mean, to me, this is obvious. This is like 2 + 2 = 4. But to the average, you know, moron, they don't get this. And because most people are morons, what this means is the West is being the greatest civilization ever in the history of the world that's generated all of our science. 99% of science and technology and all this stuff comes from the West. It doesn't come from anywhere else. All this multiculturalism is nonsense. If you study the history of science and technology, you will see the ancient Greeks figured out most stuff that's not science and technology, modern requiring electronic equipment and stuff. And then all this electronics and all this other stuff came out of the West. Okay, don't get me wrong. A few things came out of other places. You know, Japan did some stuff with the audio CD and stuff, but sad because the greatest thing man's been able to produce, and now he's going to destroy it. Okay, just a few more paintings here. Entrance to the Grand Canal by Canaletto from 1730. I know I showed that one recently too in my landscape paintings. Here's a real nice painting from the Russian Ivan Ivazovsky. Okay, moonlit night on Capri. It's beautiful, and again, in the 1800s, from 1841, the Rutskis could paint. They've got the talent, they've got the brains, they just need a culture that support it. Okay, another beautiful masterpiece, Mount Corcoran by Albert Bierstadt, 1877. You know, just beautiful. See the bear coming up to the water's edge to sip a little drink for the morning, to hydrate himself. Albert Bierstadt, of course, was the Hudson River School, founded by Thomas Cole. And I think I showed this one too in my landscape paintings, but it's worth seeing again. Niagara Falls by Frederick Edwin Church, just beautiful. Another genius artist from the Hudson River School, magnificent, 1857. Okay, here's a painting. This one's Sierra Nevada it's another Sierra Nevada painting by Albert Bierstadt again. Yeah, look how beautiful that is. It's just spectacular. He's the best landscape painter who ever lived, Albert Bierstadt. He's beyond good. He's sublime. Magnificent. Okay, here's a more humble winter scene, one we can relate to. Woods in the Snow by Peter Mork Munstead from 1909. Nice painting there, nostalgic. Back when you're a kid, sleigh bells ring on Christmas. Okay, here's one of the all-time great Romanticism paintings of Caspar David Friedrich, the German Romanticism painter. And this is called a Ruckenfurger, whereby he's looking out, and because you're looking at his back, it's as if you're in the painting looking over the edge of the rocks with him as he looks down on the sea. And I like this painting of the idea of having an objective bird's eye view, so to speak, of what's going on by having studied something in great detail from all points of view. So there it is, A Wanderer Above the Sea Fog by Caspar David Friedrich. Real nice painting. And okay, I think we'll stop at that. I hope you found those helpful.